because they were gang members. All right, but no, we have an awesome show for you. We have reviews, like I mentioned. We have awesome news. We're tongue tied like a mother. We're gonna start off with the information on E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo happened just recently. Our own Just Johnny got to check out most of the details along with Dirty D.
Yes, sir.
I myself am a jive sucker, so I saw minimal amounts of it. But we're going to talk about it real quick because you guys have apparently a lot to say about the highs and lows.
Yeah, there's some highs and there's some lows. Probably not as high of highs as last year, and probably not as low of lows last year. But there was certainly things to pick out.
Just stick to the creamy middles then. We'll cover those.
Creamy
middles, yeah.
We'll get the upper creamy middle, like the upper echelon.
Crust.
Yes, the upper.
I thought
Pat
preferred the lower portion.
Cream of the crop. Cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop. So I guess probably the big winner is Ubisoft, and they definitely brought it to the table for this E3. Everyone else was kind of, none of them were bad except for probably EA.
Yeah.
EA was a little bit of a snooze fest. But Ubisoft definitely stepped up their game, especially when as far as last year is concerned.
Yeah.
And not only did they reveal a bunch of titles that we didn't know about, they also showed off a lot of gameplay from titles that we do know about and expected, but haven't sort of seen yet, right?
Yeah.
So they showed some in-depth Far Cry 5. They showed Assassin's Creed Origins, which looks really good, set in Egypt.
Super excited about that one.
And it took them 2 years this time instead of churning out every year until it bleeds.
Every 6 months.
They're like
Assassin's Creed. Like, well, you're gonna get one every year. It's like, you know how long it takes to make a good game?
It's like a Woody Allen thing. I mean, every year it's another one. Every year it's
I think the biggest thing out of Ubisoft is the Mario Rabbids game.
Biggest or second biggest? It was definitely up there. Yeah. So
the Mario and Rabbids game, it's like a strategic tactical game. It's totally awesome.
The rabbits, those lunatic little things from 1999.
All right. So from Rayman, right? The Rayman series, it was like these little rabbits, and they turned into, during the Wii days, they turned into like their own little characters with their own little spin-off games that were mostly like party games, and they were very comical and kid-friendly and stuff like that. They were kind of like minions of video games. I actually like their humor, right? They just burp and sort of scream in each other's faces.
That's how I view rabbits. I think that's how rabbits really are.
But rabbits poo all over the place.
But the weird thing, and it leaked like a couple weeks before. It actually leaked a while ago. Someone said that there's like this little mashup happening between Mario and Rabbids.
Johnny, why do you leak the game?
I didn't leak the game.
Well, it's rare because they don't ever really lend out Mario as such. So
they usually don't. Usually,
so for them
Nintendo's
to do that
tight.
was huge. You know what I mean?
It is, and so the promo art, right, the marketing slides for Rayman Rabbids versus Cross Mario, that sort of leaked early, and people got a good look at that, and they're like, this doesn't look right. We never asked for this thing, but there was no gameplay there. And then right off the rip, at the very start of Ubisoft's presentation, boom, Shigeru Miyamoto comes up on stage. What? He has a gun in his hand, like this weird laser gun thing.
And he shot 5 people in the front row.
Oh, he's posing with...
I think he could have did that and got away with that,
He's posing with the main guy. I can't pronounce his name, but he's posing with the main guy of Ubisoft and doing these little weird cringe-worthy moments.
With his translator behind him.
Yeah.
Wait, where was this being held again? The convention center?
This is in L.A.
L.A., bro. It's every year almost.
Almost every year.
Well, this was the first. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This was the first year they've allowed general public back into E3.
This is, yes.
Okay,
that's a big deal.
They did a lot, so they did a lot of presentations. I think Wednesday was the general public release, so everybody can actually demo games.
Tuesday.
Oh, it was Tuesday? I thought it was Wednesday.
Tuesday is open to the public because sort of Nintendo is because they always go on Tuesday, and that's always sort of ushering in E3, because the moment their presentation finished, I think it's noon, then the floodgates are opened and the people can sort of come in, and it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's that. But with Ubisoft, then they showed off gameplay from Rabbids and the Rabbids Mario weird thing, and it's basically XCOM, but with Mario characters and Rabbids for comedy.
That kind of sucks. I hate XCOM.
XCOM is great.
XCOM? That's a really good game.
Man, XCOM was a half-assed attempt at recreating full spectrum warrior.
Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the tactical turn-based one, or are you talking about the first-person shooter one?
talking about the tactical turn-based one.
You didn't like that?
The one
I
with the
didn't like
permadeath, right?
Yeah,
The new one or the old one?
How about
Well, how do you define new and old?
The new one. So they refreshed the XCOM franchise. I think about 4 years ago, and brought it up to snuff for like good
quality
AAA.
Okay,
game.
this was more than 4 years ago. I played after it was recommended from XPlay, and I was like, why is everyone so jazzed about this game? It sucks.
Oh, all right. So you probably played like the late 90s XCOM, which a lot of people really like, but no, this is like full 3D graphics. It's
so worth it.
XCOM's awesome. Anyway, this is not
yeah.
XCOM. This is Mario with Rabbids, and the gameplay actually blew people out of the water. Like you could hear it in the audience that was watching it. They weren't clapping, and then like a little bit of comedy happened. And then they started applauding, and then like weird gameplay mechanics started to happen that they weren't expecting, and it like blew everyone out, and it turned out to be a major success.
It's been a while since I haven't really shot it. I never fell out of love with Mario a while ago, and I played the major Mario, like Mario Galaxy coming up. I'm definitely gonna try because it looks great. But this one is like the first Mario inclusionary game. Like they do Mario, Sonic. This is the first one I'm actually interested in playing.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Like it looks that good.
I was
like
on the
Mario
fence,
does.
probably not gonna get it, and then that gamoney demo that they
Sold
showed
it.
sold it.
Was that good?
Ubisoft,
It was that good.
Fox probably
Yeah,
would
it's
love it.
legitimately good. There's like
I think
some
another
weird,
game that
cool
everybody
stuff
was
that's
waiting
happening.
for was Dead by Daylight. They finally gave you some like decent gameplay
What's
mechanics.
that one?
That was during Sony's press conference.
Sony's press conference.
It's like a like a Last of Us meets an open world zombie game.
Just think
and
like
you're surviving.
Walking Dead times like 15, and the zombies are like running after you like full speed as opposed to just like drooling around.
Yeah, you're
So more like an infected opposed to like an actual zombie.
You could say
That's like the new thing, though. I'm like, these things don't classify as zombies. You put them in a zombie-like environment and leave them like zombie-like powers. That's the one with the gameplay demo, where the dude is like running through like this mill, right?
Yeah, it's like a mill or
That
like
was
an
last
abandoned
year's.
train
Last
yard.
year's.
This is like
so they
depths.
demoed it again. Yeah, they demoed it again, and it was going through, I guess, more of like the back roads and whatnot. The guy has a motorcycle, so he used that as his main transportation getting around. And I guess the interesting thing that a lot of people are talking about is the fact that you can weaponize the zombies themselves.
Yep.
So there's this human encampment that are enemies, and you're trying to rescue your buddy from it. And there's this barricade that the encampment has put in place. And behind that there's a bunch of zombies there. So in order to make it easier to take out the encampment, they had the player sort of go up to the barricade, put in some, I don't know, C4 or whatever, some explosives on it, blow up the barricade, and then a flood, like a lot of zombies started to come in and wiped out the entire encampment. And then you go in after all that has passed through and rescue your buddy.
Not bad. That's a little different than what I was hoping you were going to say, because the second you said C4, I was really hoping by weaponize the zombies, you meant you put the C4 on the back of one of the zombies, let them wander
That
in.
would be awesome.
That's what I was thinking too. That'd be good.
Just walk him into it. Like,
There's a game for that.
Plug in the zombie and watch him walk
Just
out
Cause.
the door.
No,
Ba-bum.
well, that too. There was a zombie one though.
Which one?
Was on Xbox? What was it called?
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
Yeah.
That's the one.
yeah,
That's the
I never really got
weaponized
into
anything kind of thing.
What?
It's hard.
Dude, Dead Rising was everything. I think we've talked about this like several times. Dead Rising was everything I've ever wanted to do in watching a zombie movie. I'm like, you are passing, a hardware store, grab some hammers, grab some like saws, and go to
Make
town.
something, yeah.
Don't let these things make you.
Yeah, you want some table saw blades and
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
What I love in Dead Rising is everything is a weapon. You pick up the freaking parasol umbrella from the cafe. You just like running through them. That's your shield. You pick up the toys from the toy store. You hit them with Nerf bullets. They're just like, dude,
Nerf.
they're coming at you. They're coming at you.
So that was that, and then I guess the big announcement from Ubisoft was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah,
so
it
a
was
sequel
huge.
to the first game. They
It
kind of
took
already
22 years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's been a while since the first one, and
Really,
they never
yeah.
could get funding, and they tried to get funding over and over again. I think they had like this one CG trailer from like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago that they showed off, teasing it, hoping that someone would fund it. And now this time it was still a CG trailer, but you could tell that there's a lot of effort went into this one. The previous one was like this empty road out in the middle of nowhere. It was like no effort put into it at all. This time,
in space.
impressive.
Yeah.
It goes from being on like this big, I don't know, metro
Colony, you want to call it like a
worshipy.
colony, Dread World or whatever.
It was very fancy, artsy.
Yeah.
There was like space tech going on. There's talking animals all over the place, and there's like chocolate idols
All right.
and pigs.
Okay, well, I feel like you guys are beating around the bush. I want to know what was the the top presentation? What really
I'll tell you what the
made
biggest
E3
bomb
for you?
was.
Bomb? What do you got?
That was Microsoft and their price announcement for their Xbox One X.
Oh, the small one.
No, that's the Xbox One S.
Oh,
no,
This is
the
the
Xbox
X.
One X is actually even smaller than the One S. It's like they de-evolved their systems, but
it's
the
smaller,
price tag is
smaller but heavier.
So what's the difference between?
It's a heavy-duty machine.
Is it a mobile?
It's built for ultra HD resolution.
Yeah. So last year they announced this as
super processor.
Last year they announced this as the Project Scorpio, and this was supposed to be their answer to the PlayStation Pro.
I'll respect one of these when they announce it as Project Mayhem.
Right. Yes.
And
we're just gonna blow up that building when we release this game.
Hey, that's how you know you got a powerful system.
We don't talk about.
And that is what they're positioning this as. They're positioned as the most powerful video game console ever made, and it is.
Yeah,
you know, when you look at the stats that they have shown off, it is the most powerful console that they ever made.
But
Not by much, but it is. Right? It wins the title for it. We're talking 4.5 teraflops versus 6 teraflops.
I'll never get used to that word.
No,
teraflops.
Yeah.
I don't think we should.
And that's in comparison to the PlayStation 4 Pro versus the Xbox One X.
The main thing of that presentation, I'm watching. I'm like, oh, great. How much? Great. How much?
I do that with everything, though. It's like, oh, that looks really awesome. Yeah, how much is it? You have to.
So
it's like, look, lady, I told you I want to party, but you got to tell me how much.
So it's already.
Yeah, I want to dance with you.
So
right now with Microsoft, it feels like that.
The PS4 Pro is already at a premium. It's $400.
Yeah, it's pretty good price.
That's the PS4 Pro. Xbox One X, $5.
$499.
$499.99. It's $500.
And that's when I proceeded to just shut off my window. Like I didn't care.
Right, instantly I shut down. Like you're like, oh, that I don't hear anything after me. It's just a mouth. Might as well be a puppet.
There's a lot of stuff too. They announced this Uber backward compatibility system that now Thank you for older games, and it's going all the way back too. So it's not
Wait.
They're going as far back as the original Xbox.
All the way
for
back.
Backwards compatibility, but
which is
it's all right. That's cool to have.
One game.
Yeah, but not for $500.
What was that?
No,
that was good.
And that's not just for the Xbox One X. That's for any of the Xbox
across all. Okay,
systems.
I didn't hear that.
Across all.
Yeah. Well, the only game I'd want that backwards compatibility for is the Warriors. Because apparently it was like a really good game. I never got to play it. I bought the damn thing and I never got around to it. I've got the game, but I don't have the system anymore. You know, and the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One aren't backwards compatible. Before
we move on, I just want to say honorable mention to the Assassin's Creed. I'm happy they finally put a brother into the mix.
Well, they
did. That was like a DLC though.
Yes, it was.
Pretty much.
That was like very
Badass
disappointing.
DLC.
I wanted a brother to run around here for about a couple days, do a couple shankings, save the world inadvertently. Don't get any credit for it, but you know,
it takes place in Egypt. Old Egypt, ancient Egypt, and they actually sprinkled in some like weird magical-y stuff. Right? You're going against mummies, big giant snakes.
So this is what the movie should have been.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
The movie was.
Now that you mentioned that, honestly, yes, they should have started as such because its origins obviously taking it back to the beginning, but it just felt good to see an assassin. I've always liked ancient Egypt. I've actually liked the games in a more ancient setting than I really did like it going to modern. Like I didn't mind Syndicate, but it was just too modernized for me. Yeah. And I just, I think it took some of the lure away from the original Assassin's Creed mentality and stuff. So
right after 2, the whole series kind of lost it for me.
Yeah.
So
I hope this is.
I think 4 was the peak. Syndicate's a good, tapering off. Yeah. But they got to win me back with this Egypt.
I think they will, brother. I really think they will.
All right.
What do you know, man?
Okay, so let's close out because I want to hear about what this. Johnny, you passed around the link.
Yep.
The Devolver Digital.
He sends the DM and he's like, everybody needs to watch this right now, like right this